Hey everyone, welcome back to Survivor Angels. On this episode, we're taking a deep dive into a perspective on angels that just might flip your thinking on its head. Stay with me.
It's time for Survivor Angels, an approach to strengthen trauma survivors. Here, you can escape what draws negativity and engage your positive abilities and the gifts that you've always had. Let's activate your angels. And to help you on that journey, here's Chaplain Jodi.
We often think of angels as heavenly beings, beings of light and love, messengers. What if I told you that there is a darker side, another way to look at the angels, that maybe you just sort of push to the back of your mind? They truly embody light. They also embody shadow. We're going to explore the angel paradox here. How these celestial beings are not just the glowing, comforting presences that we often imagine, but also powerful forces that sometimes push us to confront our darkest truths. All right, let's start with the light side, the side that we are most familiar with. Angels as protectors and guides, messengers, all those things. Pretty common. I think the world, 81% of the world believes in angels, and they would agree with that. You've probably heard stories of people encountering their guardian angels during times of crisis. Maybe you've even had one of those moments where you just know that something beyond yourself stepped in. I do a lot of work with veterans, and across the board, whether it's Vietnam veterans, even a few World War II veterans and Korean veterans, but then our current day veterans, they speak of situations where all of a sudden they feel a very sudden, sort of overwhelming sense of peace during one of their darkest nights. They're struggling, and suddenly this just sort of calm washes over them. It feels, this is how they describe it, it feels like they're being wrapped in a warm light. Kind of almost like a hug from the universe itself. Those are my words, not theirs. They tell me that it's like an angel all of a sudden just sat down right next to them, holding space for them. They felt like the message from the angel is that, hey, you're not alone. That's the light side, right? Comforting, healing. We need that. We crave that. But here's the catch. If we only see angels that way, we're missing half of the picture. We're ignoring how they challenge us. Oh boy, yes, they do challenge us. So now let's get into the shadow side. The side that people either don't talk about or don't like to talk about. Think about it. Angels aren't just gentle guardians. They're also warriors, fierce warriors, judges and beings who confront darkness head on. Now, when I say judges, that doesn't mean that they judge you. That simply means that they are judging the messages that are appropriate to be brought to you, what you need to hear in your challenging moments. Ever hear the phrase, fear not? It's in scripture and a lot of other places. Angels often said it when they showed up because their presence wasn't always gentle or comforting. In fact, it was quite intense, sometimes even terrifying. Think of Archangel Michael. Everybody knows Michael, just wielding his sword against evil. Or the angel that stood in Balaam's path, sword drawn, ready to strike. These aren't soft ethereal presences. They're fierce and relentless forces that confront darkness, and they hold us accountable. That's part of their job. They are protectors of our souls. There's also the concept then of fallen angels. There's a whole lot wrapped up in this. It's simply not just simple of light angels and fallen angels. I'm not going to get into all of that on the podcast, but trust me, this goes really deep. Those are the ones, though, the fallen angels, who challenge the divine order. I'm not saying that every fallen angel story is literal, but symbolically, it's powerful. No denial. It's about the potential for even divine beings to struggle, to fall, and to evolve. And that's part of why I love exploring these stories. They remind us that light and shadow aren't so cleanly separated. They coexist. So, how do we apply this paradox to our own lives? I've worked with so many people who've been through trauma, myself included. And sometimes we want to focus on the healing, the light, and just move past the pain. But angels teach us that the real transformation comes from embracing the whole experience, light and shadow. Here's a practice for you. Are you ready? Take a few minutes today or tonight, whenever it's convenient for you, and just sit quietly. Imagine calling in your guardian angel, but not just the glowing, comforting version. Also call in the fierce protector, the angel that doesn't shy away from hard truths. And just simply ask them to show you a part of yourself that you've been avoiding. Maybe it's anger. Maybe it's sadness. Maybe it's fear. Fear is a big one. Allow both aspects, the light and the shadow. Allow both to hold that space with you. Sometimes healing isn't about erasing the dark. It's about letting the light and the shadow integrate. It's messy, but that's where the magic happens. All right, beautiful souls. I'm going to call it there for this episode of Survivor Angels. Just wanted to give you this little look into the paradox of angels. Light angels, fallen angels, light and shadow. It really is more complicated, but I'm going to bring that to you in different ways. But I hope that this conversation about the angelic paradox gave you something to think about, and maybe even something to feel. Remember, being human means holding both light and shadow. That's how we were fearfully and wonderfully made. And that's okay. You're a beautiful, complex, evolving soul, just like the angels. We're not that much different. We are, after all just energy. If this episode spoke to you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So please leave your comments, share your insights. And you can always find me, of course, on social media. And then, if you're even more interested, check out my books. There's 4 of them. Just Google Chaplain Jodi Dehn, D-E-H-N, and they will pop up on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and other distributors as well. So until next time, activate your angels and awaken the wisdom within you. It's already there. Take care. Keep shining through the light and the shadow.
Thanks again for joining Chaplain Jodi on Survivor Angels. For more information, go to chaplainjodi.me. That's chaplainjodi.me. and on Facebook at Survivor Angels Chaplain Jodi. This is Dave Schrader. Until next time, sending you off to activate your angels.